Hello, welcome back to my channel, Mel Stamping Gallery. I'm Melanie, you're close to my heart maker, and today for my layout I am going to be doing another travel page for our recent trip to France that we took, and I'm going to be using the Are We There Yet collection from the current January through March seasonal catalog that you can see here. Let me take a minute and show you the beautiful papers and the sticker sheet. So here's the sticker sheet with all the nice titles, maps. I love the suitcases and the camera. And then you've got the papers, 6 sheets of double-sided papers with the zip strips on them. And this one I love, that has all the different passports in it. Someday I'll get my passport filled up like that. And this one has the yellow arrows, and then on the other side it's got the different landmarks from all over the world. And then of course you've got the geotag paper, and on the other side it's got those darling little suitcases. So it also has the suitcase rubber shapes, which I think are just adorable. And then I'm also going to try to use the Stampin' Thin Cut Are We There Yet borders. It's got the stamps, and some of the stamps have the coordinating thin cuts to cut those out. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this up, and then we'll go ahead and get started. And I've gone ahead and I've brought in my Versamat, and I have my piece of sapphire 12 by 12 cardstock and the white daisy that I trimmed down to 11.5 inches. So that gave me 1/4 of an inch around the border, and I do go ahead and I do gut out the back so that I can use that paper for something else, like maybe a mat or embellishments or something. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up on my Versamat here. I'll go ahead and bring in my photos that I've printed out and put them kind of where I know I want them to be. So I had quite a few pictures of Notre Dame because, you know, it's just one of those things, those iconic landmarks. You just want to take pictures of it from every angle that you possibly can. If you notice, remember they had that fire, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I don't remember the exact year, so we weren't able to go in, but still the outside was just gorgeous. So I do have them laid out where I want them, and I know this is just going to be a one single page because of where I got it plotted out in my my book, my photo book. But I do have these extra photos that I wanted to use, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in a flip flap here, like that, so that when you open it up, you'll see all the photos. I've got them arranged the way I want them, and I know I'm going to probably put a title and some embellishments over here and leave room for some journaling over there. But then I thought it needed a little more color down here, just to kind of bring all these photos together. So I cut this triangle piece on my Cricut, and I think that's going to go there, and that will kind of bring all these photos together, kind of let them all be connected. But then I thought, why don't I put, to bring some of this blue into it, put a piece of the blue down here, and maybe not quite as big as that yellow one, but maybe just a little bit here to kind of bring some of that blue into it and kind of ground this corner as well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that into a triangle, and I'll be right back. I thought I would show you how I plan on cutting this piece into a triangle. I used my Cricut for the other triangle piece, but I thought I can do this probably pretty quickly with my T-square ruler and my Versamat. Now, did you know that your Versamat was a self-healing mat and you can cut right on it? You can. So let me show you. I'm going to go, I want it to be 7 inches, and I think maybe to about 6.5. No, actually, let's make it about 6. Well, let's make it 7 because I can always cut it off and make it smaller. And I'm going to go to the 8 inches over there. So I've got my T-square ruler lined up at the 7 up here at the top, 8 inches down here at the bottom. I've got my sharp cutting tool, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut. And there you go. It gives me a nice, perfect, sharp edge. And now that I've got that cut, let's bring in our base page again and see if that's the way I want it to go. So I've got this lined up here, and then the geotag is going to go and overlap that. Like I say, just a little bit, and I like the way that brings in some of the blue from all around. It kind of breaks up that yellow. Now before I adhere the blue and all the pictures down, I almost forgot I wanted to take this border stamp and just right along the edge of the yellow, stamp the zigzag. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm using the papaya color that coordinates with the colors in the paper pack. So I'm just going to flip over my Versamat to use that spongy side. And I don't have to get all the way to the corner down here because the blue is going to cover that up. And just stamp, try to press as evenly as I can, and then lift up. There you go. Yeah, that's going to look really good. Let me ink that up one more time and line this up as good as I can. It's hard to see because the camera is in my way. And press down. Give it a gentle push and lift up. There you go. And even if I got that little smooshy part there, some of the pictures are going to cover that up, so that'll be okay. And let me bring this down here, more in my vision. And the same thing, let's just push that down. Okay, there. I think that looks good. So now I've got my triangle piece down here with the geotags here in the corner. I went ahead, there was a border strip on the sticker sheet that I put down here at the bottom. Now let me go ahead and bring in my pictures again to show you what I've done. I went ahead and I wanted to bring some more of that papaya color in to match some of these photos because they were just getting lost on the white background. So I've got the two main photos matted on papaya. And remember, these two photos are going in a flip flap on top of that. So when I put the flip flap on, it'll still be mounted on the papaya. And then the other two photos, I've got them mounted on white cardstock, but I think instead of putting more matting behind it, I think I'm going to go ahead and sponge the edges. And I've already sponged the edges of this one here with my sapphire ink color. And I'm going to go ahead and do that around here. And that will just help that pop up off the page a little bit. See how that's popping off, and it brings that sapphire down with it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish those off camera. For the title, I just took the words Notre Dame. I found the word Notre in the Cricut design space, and I just paired it with the word, I just typed in the word, made a text box and typed in the word Dame, Notre Dame, and sliced that together to make the title Notre Dame, put an offset on it. And then I wanted to make a geotag behind here. So to make the geotag, I actually used this tiny little geotag from the Are We There Yet digital art collection. And I downloaded that to the Cricut, of course, and then I just actually enlarged it to make it bigger. So it looks like this. Got the white, and it's got the circle, and it matches the geotags in the paper. But that was a little too plain, so I wanted to stamp that to make it look like patterned paper. I'm going to take the geotag that I cut in the sapphire, and I'm going to stamp on the foam sheet that comes with it. I'm going to use that zigzag pattern, my sapphire ink. Like I said, I'm going to get that zigzag inked up, and I'm just going to go across the geotag, line it up as best as I can does fit pretty good. I've got the piece of copy paper underneath because the stamping hangs over the edge of the cardstock, and if I do that directly on this piece of I don't know what you call that. What do you call that? The stamping foam, I guess. It kind of gets on there and makes a mess. So that's why I've got the copy paper under there. I'll go ahead and put the zigzag back, and then also for the white piece, I didn't want to leave that plain white, so I, again, going to take the arrows from that same stamp set. And this time I'm going to use the papaya color and stamp the arrows randomly across there. And that just is really random. And then you'll just see those arrows through the geotag, the opening in the geotag. And then I've got that adhered together, so now it looks like you've made your own pattern paper, and that's going to go there. And then I thought, well, I think it still needs a little something to make it pop a little bit. So I thought, well, what if I take the white gel pen and I go around and make kind of a stitching line on there. And then I think that'll make it pop a little bit. Sometimes you might want to take and sponge the edges. I don't know, I wasn't wanting to sponge. I just kind of like the little fake stitching this gives around it. Sorry, let me finish that up real quick. Just going around the edges, just making those little stitching lines. And I think that gives it a little extra pop, makes it a little bit more dimensional looking. Let's see, hold that up so you can see that better. See, that really just does make it, give it a little extra something. For the rest of the embellishments, I've got a couple different things here. I've gone ahead and I've pulled some stickers off the sticker sheet. I'm just going to kind of place these around here. I like that little compass. I love the camera. Cameras are always good, especially for these kinds of photos. And then this little sticker says landmark, which of course this is quite a landmark, right? Here's a tiny little geotag. I thought that was cute to go up there in that corner. Then I thought down here it just needed something to ground that a little bit. So again, from that same stamp set, you can see the different tickets. So I stamped that in the papaya color, Explore Your World. I think I'll put that down there, like so. And then also from that stamp set, you can see this row of the different icons. I stamped that in several different colors, die cut it out, and then cut apart the individual little pieces so I could have just the little icons down here. I like the little camera, and this little globe is so stinking cute. And we'll put that down there about like that. Now all the embellishment clusters are all adhered down, and just one more little thing. I just had to use these little rubber shapes. They're all so cute. The hardest part was to decide which one to use, and I'm thinking, let's use this little green backpack here. You just peel it off the carrier sheet. It's already sticky, and then I can just stick it down there right next to that little globe. And then all that's left to do is I'll type up my journaling, and I'll put some down here, and that'll be it. And then of course I'll add that flip-flop page right here, which I can't find right now, but I'll have it in the still shots for you to see on my Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook pages, which are all linked down in the description box that you can find down below. And oh, here's the flip flap. I found it. What I will do is I will adhere that to the outside of the page protector so that you'll just flip it up like that, and you'll be able to see all the different photos there. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to check the description box for links to all the products that I use that are currently available on the Close to My Heart website. And also that's where you can find all my social media pages. So thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.